Boeing is one company that has been making global headlines for a long time now and for all the wrong reasons. The question that's currently on people's mind is this: why was the Boeing CEO fired? Let's examine this. It took 80 days, but for the airline industry, enough was enough. A revolt by US airline bosses helped topple Boeing's top leadership, including CEO Dave Calhoun this week, capping weeks of pressure after the freakish 5th January blowout of a door plug on an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 passenger jet. With the company's major US customers agitating for a boardroom meeting without Calhoun, Boeing's board preempted their demands with a major upheaval. Now, after the shakeup that took out the CEO, the chairman and head of Boeing's commercial airplanes business, airlines face prolonged uncertainty over jet supplies and are calling for deeper changes, starting with picking a manufacturing heavyweight as CEO. Now, Boeing said it had nothing to add to comments from Calhoun, who told employees on Monday that he had been considering stepping down as CEO for some time. He added that the company would fix what isn't working, and we are going to get our company back on track towards recovery and stability, he said. The 5th January incident plunged Boeing into a new crisis, 5 years after the second of two fatal crashes that grounded the MAX. Regulators began curbing Boeing's already lagging production. Airlines trained to adapt their schedules to the ongoing delays that meant fewer planes were available for delivery. Boeing struggled to convince customers it would be able to overcome the heavy scrutiny, particularly following safety board reports that focused on weaknesses in the production chain. The catalyzing moment was last week when the CEOs of major US MAX customers, Southwest, United, Alaska and American, demanded to meet the board to express frustration at a lack of progress. Boeing chairman Larry Kellner offered to set up bilateral meetings instead. But over the weekend, Boeing's board preempted that action, agreeing to staggered departures of Calhoun, Kellner and plane-making CEO Stan Deal, whose post went to Chief Operating Officer Stephanie Pope. A senior industry source described the shakeup as Boeing management being fired by its customers. Insiders say it was the broadest top-level clear-out since Boeing CEO Phil Condit resigned days after the company's finance director was fired in a defense contract scandal back in 2003. Now, sources have said the US carriers were determined to force regime change. Some said Calhoun, who claimed that the move was his decision, jumped before he was pushed, agreeing to leave by the end of the year. But pressure from the industry and regulators had been growing for weeks and boiled over when more loose bolts were found in late January. United CEO Scott Kirby announced it would no longer wait for the delayed MAX 10, Boeing's best hope of countering Airbus's hot-selling A321neo in the busiest part of the market. The MAX 9 grounding was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. Kirby promptly flew to France to start talks with Airbus, with Boeing's rival hoping to win a 200-plane deal. Industry unity had cracked after the MAX groundings that followed. Crashes in 2018 and 2019 led to lawsuits over delays. But the intensity of this month's intervention astonished boardroom observers and demonstrated the fragile confidence in Boeing's once sure grip on safety and reliability issues. Some say the dynamic between supplier and customer in the case of Boeing has gone beyond extremes anyone has seen. And US Airlines had resolved to get Boeing leaders off the stage. The plan gathered speed at an Airlines for America meeting this month. During the meeting, the CEOs met privately with US National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jenna Hornady. After she departed, the CEOs, including Kirby, said it was time to seek a meeting with the Boeing board. While airline bosses went public, the powerful leasing firms who own half the world fleet waded in more discreetly. At an annual Dublin summit in January, lessors publicly backed Calhoun, but delegates were critical in private and predicted it would be weeks before Calhoun was ousted. Crisis experts acknowledged that under Calhoun, Boeing abandoned the unpopular legalistic tone it adopted after earlier MAX crashes, publicly admitting to mistakes, but he repeatedly insisted that the current management would usher through the profound changes demanded by US regulators, something that Boeing clearly failed to do. As the dust settles, experts say the carrier coup will be studied for years. Observers say it's career ending if all of your customers say they don't have confidence in you and want to go to your superiors. They also say such collective action is very rare in any industry.